morning. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. Today is Tuesday, May 2026. I hope you enjoy your nice Memorial Day weekend. It's been a tumultuous several days here, so I know how much we're excited on that. On that note, we'd love to see what's going on here in this NBA. So, if that's the case, there's no reason to disbelieve in you, if I'm correct. But we've just been talking about the time and effort and the volume and consistency is there's not much going on. But this has already been tested a little bit here. All right, before I kick off this segment here, I just want to give it a heads up if I didn't get to notice. Yesterday, it marked 6 years of the death. It marked 6 years ago, yesterday, of the death of the Minneapolis native George Floyd. George Floyd was murdered by Derek Chauvin on May 25th, 2020. Chauvin was charged late April 2021 He was charged of assaulting of the death of George Floyd. We've been talking about this, the Black Lives Matter era, and the civil rights situation. Here are the notable deaths since 2012 who were victimized. Trayvon Martin from Florida, he passed away. Michael Brown from St. Louis, Missouri in 2014. Oscar Grant was shot at Fruitvale Station in New Year's Day, January 1st, 2009. It was by the cops, by the way. Who else was killed? It happened since 2009. Who else got killed? Stephon Clark was killed in 2018 in Sacramento. Nia Wilson was killed. She was stabbed and killed at MacArthur BART station outside of suburbs of Oakland, California, in 2018. We know about George Floyd passing away. We all know that. He died in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Breonna Taylor passed away on March 13th, 2020 in Louisville, Kentucky. She passed away when the coronavirus arrived. So George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin in 2012. So those are our notable accusers for all these years. So, by the way, I saw that movie several times, called Fruitvale Station. It was characterized Oscar Grant was played by the starring actor Michael B. Jordan. He normally plays. He had notable films. He did Sinners. He did Creed films. He also did TV shows as well, called The Wire. Who else? He did some reference roles from on the TV series, NBC TV series called Friday Night Lights. Was starring by Kyle Chandler. I saw that TV show before, so it was a thing, man. And also Michael B. Jordan did he did play the NBA on 2K17 on the My Career game. So, NBA 2K17, My Career game. I just want to say yesterday marked 6 years of the death of George Floyd. Black Lives Matter. I've been saying it time and time again. We talked about Jesse Martin passing away a few months ago. It's really tough to see. It's tough to get through it right now. So now, rest in peace for those of you who lost their lives. Generally, we love you all. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to this. Let's start with the NBA. The Cavaliers are just completely out of control in this series, and it's been a rough series for the Cleveland Cavaliers, without a shadow of a doubt. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have been decimated after decimated after decimated after decimated after decimated. It has been a rough series after they blew a lead. Meanwhile, the New York Knicks, the Knicks keep on rolling. The Knicks have won. The Knicks have won 11 consecutive postseason games. They started 1-2 in the playoffs, but since then, the Knicks have been complete control in their last 11 games. Okay, so as the final score in Game 4, the Knicks sweeping the Cavaliers 130-93. That's your final score of this one. So, despite no Knicks player has scored 20 points in this game, Karl Anthony Towns actually led the way with 19 points and 3 made three-pointers, 14 rebounds. But it's about on-court contributions for the New York Knicks, and we've been seeing that time and time again. Who would have thought people who trust the Knicks in the playoffs? I didn't. Now I trust the Knicks in the playoffs. That you can put up the same pressure that you get. We've been talking about all this. The New York Knicks are the most dominant team in the playoffs so far this year. This is the most dominant playoff run of all time. You want a request for a championship? I think they're clearly a championship team now, because it gives you time and energy and effort, and we see it time and time again. And several of those who really don't know about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson making the right plays. He's been consistent all postseason long. And oh, by the way, Jalen Brunson is the 2026 Larry Bird's Eastern Conference Finals most valuable player. So I can't be wrong with that convincingly. Mikal Bridges having a good series. We've seen that time and time again. OG Anunoby had some good games. We've seen the biggest X factor during the Knicks sweep was Landry Shamet. He had 16 points in a clinching game last night. He made 4 3-pointers out of 4 attempts. He was fantastic last night off the bench. And then McBride had 11 points and 3 made 3-pointers. The bench has helped the Knicks in the playoffs. It's not just the stars. The bench play has helped them. I think that actually takes a full step forward to this. And because of that, it really felt like the New York Knicks, it's about Knick dominance. The Knicks have dominated the Cavs since they came back from 22 points down in game 1 in this series. And since then, they just took complete control the rest of the series. They still managed to sweep the Cavs. And it's just because there's several opportunities that the Cavs they could have won. The Cavs just never found the room since that time. It's hurting right now. So it's about the Knick dominance. I'll tell you what, the New York Knicks are clearly a championship caliber team. I think the Knicks, right now, they're waiting for the winner between the Spurs and the Thunder. The series is deadlocked at 2 apiece, so I'll talk about that a little bit later. But when I talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers are problematic of the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers finishing the postseason 8-10. What the hell is your damn problem? You've gone on from potentially the greatest Eastern Conference contenders to a Eastern Conference Finals disappointment. This has got to be the worst playoff run for the Cavaliers by an Eastern Conference Finals team or any other conference finals team like West or other conference final of all time. Note, I'm not sure Okay, so here we go. Cavaliers becomes the first team in NBA history to have a postseason losing record and made the conference finals and end up losing postseason record. They finished the postseason 8-10 in the playoffs. And how many losses on the road? 7 of the 10 postseason losses have been away from Rocket Mortgage Arena. 7 losses were on the road. 3 of them have it at home. They ended a home postseason, a 3-game losing streak. They lost game 6 against the Pistons in the semifinals, They lost games 3 and 4 in the conference finals to the Knicks. As for the Cleveland Cavaliers, in under 2 minutes left to play game 3 in the fourth quarter, the Cavaliers defense played lazy defense when the Knicks player scored. And then even worse last night, after the Cavaliers surrendered a turnover, the Cavaliers jogged back on defense. You got to hustle. The Cavaliers season was hanging in the balance. The Cavaliers season was hanging in a damn balance. You got to get back on defense in a hustling way. You're not hustling. You're not hustling. If you don't hustle, you don't win. If you can't get back on defense, sit your ass down before I knock your dad down. This is a damn problem. Your damn problem is they show no damn life. Donovan Mitchell did have 31 points. He led the way. But the rest of these guys, they don't give a damn. What the hell is going on with James Harden? James Harden has been horrible in the damn playoffs. James Harden is ass. This is a problem right now. You guys have done you have done some rusty work after you blow a 22-point lead in game 1. You've done a little work on the court. And you put Max Strus as a starter. He didn't start he was coming off the bench for most of his postseason. Dean Wade was a starter for some parts of this postseason. And this is a problem. Y'all need to get another star power. Yeah, you got James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen, but you don't have enough firepower. That's the problem. The problem is you don't have a firepower. That's an issue right now. What Cavaliers need to do this offseason, I'll save that for later, but right now, I'm going to focus on this picture right here. The Cavaliers' defense was brutal. No energy, no effort. They give away too many offensive rebounds, man. Damn. This is travesty. This is tragic for the Cavs. This Cavs team is clearly tragic. This is a problem now. All right, we'll talk about more Cavs when we come back. So we're going to step away for a couple of minutes. How about that? All right, so when I picked up what I left off, the Cavaliers right now, they're just lazy as hell, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers right now, they're completely disarray. That's the reason why when I came back from there. So here's my question right now. So I'm going to talk about the stats. We'll get to the stats in just a couple of moments. Why the Cavaliers struggled in this series. This is a problem right now. The reason why the Cavaliers are struggling in this series, the defense has been an issue. They're not generating any quality shots. That's why this series this Cavaliers team has been inconsistent. They just can't make big shots in the playoffs in this series. All right, so let's take a look here. The Cavaliers getting outplayed. So here we go. Here's the Cavaliers numbers. As I'm saying, the Cavaliers getting outplayed in this series. So here are the Cavaliers numbers in this series. The Cavaliers, here's the offensive numbers. The Cavaliers the Cavaliers only scored 99.5 points per game, 99.5. Field goal percentage for the Cavs, shooting 40%, 39.5, equivalent to 40% from the field. 3-point field goal percentage, 28.9%, just 29%. Free throw percentage, 70.8, 71%. Those are not good shooting numbers for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Turnovers per game, 16.5 turnovers per game. That is unacceptable for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And speaking of unacceptable, James Harden's Eastern Conference foul stats have not been kind. Here's the numbers. James Harden, points per game, 16 points per game. Rebounds per game, 4.8 rebounds per game. Assists per game, 3.0 assists a game. Field goal percentage, 39%. 3-point field goal percentage, 18%. Free throw percentage, 81. Turnovers per game, he's averaged 4.2 turnovers a game. As a matter of fact, James Harden has recorded 5 or more turnovers in 3 of his 4 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. And James Harden leads the NBA in the playoffs in turnovers this postseason. James Harden has James Harden has 84 total turnovers in this playoffs in 18 games. He averaged close to 5 turnovers a game. That is the most by any player in a single postseason in NBA history. That's how bad James Harden he is in the playoffs. He's not great in the playoffs as far as taking care of the basketball. I blame James. Who's the biggest blame in this Eastern Conference Finals? Is it Kenny Atkinson? Maybe not. It's James Harden. James Harden is a blame not just in the Eastern Conference Finals, he's the blame in the playoffs. Despite they survived the first 2 rounds. They survived against the Raptors in the first round. They survived against the Pistons in the second round. Clearly they didn't survive against the Knicks because they blew a 22-point lead in the 4th quarter in Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they never recovered since. They never recovered it at all. Sorry. But that's a problem. You've been going through the same issues over and over and over and over again. This is going to hurt some people now. Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are just off the damn mark. They got to do something now. What Cavaliers have to do this offseason? I know they're going to make a move. They need a big. They need an extra big. They need an extra big because this is not helping for the Cavs. That doesn't necessarily mean they need a center. They need like a power forward. They need a power forward production. The Cavaliers need a power forward production. So as of now, projected starters, power forward positions by committee. Right now we have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is a power forward, but small forward production, actually. Cavaliers need a small forward production. Otherwise, this isn't helping. And they need another guard play. What could be better? I'm not sure if James Harden will be playing with the Cavs next year. I hope he does play with the Cavs next season. But his ass needs to stop turning the basketball over. He needs to stop doing that. All right, let's move on. When we come back, we'll preview Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Spurs and the Thunder. It's been a hard-fought series through the first 4 games so far. And also coming up, the National League Central is heating up. Who's rising up and who's falling down? So we have to find out all this. And the other one, also coming up next, did Jaylen Brown get snubbed in the first team All-NBA? I'll reveal the first team All-NBA when we come back. All right, tonight it's Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. So far, this series is deadlocked at 2 apiece. It will be the San Antonio Spurs will trip back to face the Oklahoma City Thunder in Oklahoma City tonight. Tip-off begins at 8:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. So, this is the best of 3. So the winner 2 out of 3 will likely advance the NBA Finals. Here, the Knicks, the number 3 seed in the East, the New York Knicks, already tripped to the NBA Finals. However, Spurs and Thunder will most likely will host the NBA Finals. Whoever wins this series will host the NBA Finals, regardless of the outcome of this series. As the NBA Finals is a week from tomorrow, so we'll get to that. So Knicks will get lengthier rest as they get themselves prepared for that one here. All right, so tonight, Game 5 in Oklahoma City. Who's the most important player in Game 5 tonight? To me, for the Spurs, it's got to be the Spurs. It's got to be Stephon Castle. He's got to be the most important player in Game 5. He needs to make sure. I know his turnovers have been an issue in this series. So, he just got to play well in general. So far, Game 3. So what went down first? Spurs won a Game 1 on the road in double overtime. Then Thunder bounced back at home, won Game 2. And then Thunder takes Game 3 on the road. And then Spurs with a dominant Game 4 win against the Thunder. Oh, by the way, Victor Wembanyama hit a half-court buzzer beater to end the first half 2 days ago in Game 4. And the defense was a big story for the Spurs. So, the Spurs got to feel pretty good. You know, even if the series are 2 apiece, you still got a chance to win this series. Remember last time the series was tied 2 apiece, the Spurs able to win that series. Game 5 is critical. Spurs are 2-0 in Game 5 this postseason. Thunder, this is their first Game 5 of this postseason. So this is about it. This is the situation. Stephon Castle is clearly the most important player in this series, but we've just been talking about all this. It's the volume of consistency. And when that happened, some things you really had to come out. because of that. But it's not a problem. Victor Wembanyama had 33 points in Game 4. He was dominant. So, you know, it was always a good sign. Every day you watch these postseason games, it's really mattering because of that. But there's not a whole lot you can say about it because of it. But it's not a problem. You make yourself comfortable. But it's really gonna help. Meanwhile, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, what Thunder has to do in Game 5 to bounce back? Well, Mark Daigneault, I know the defense has been good they've been good in this series as well. The defense has been good in the playoffs and they've been good in this series. But not a problem. SGA will have a better Game 5, excuse me. And then Jalen Williams is out. A.J. Mitchell was out in Game 4, injury. I mean, who has to step up if they want to retake the series lead for the Thunder? It's got to be Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace has got to be critical for him in Game 5 if they want to step this thing up. So I think that's the case right now. They really had everything to go their way because of it. So I think that's the case right now. They can beat it. They can beat themselves here. But they gotta win. They gotta win much of the signing factor because of it. But then this is about it. It's something you get a benefit of the doubt. If that's the case in this one here. It's not even the worst thing at all. But it's been a different story just since that time. You can say all of this one here. All right, so who would like to win Game 5 tonight? Thunder or Spurs? I like San Antonio winning tonight in Game 5. I think Victor Wembanyama will come through once again and try to take Game 5 in. Game 6 will be Thursday night back in San Antonio. Keep that in mind. All right, so coming up next on JDB's Morning Count, we'll talk the National League Central Division, which team is rising up and which team has fallen down in these past few weeks. And also coming up, we're going to talk about Jaylen Brown. Did Jaylen Brown get snubbed from the first team All-NBA? I will look it up right after this. All right, welcome back here as the National League Central is heating up right now. Let's take a look at the standings in the National League Central. The Milwaukee Brewers are number 1 with a 31-20 record. So, yep, the Brewers are 31-20. Yeah, I said it. Second place is the St. Louis Cardinals with a 29-23 record. Third place is the Chicago Cubs, 29-25. Fourth place is the Cincinnati Reds, 28-25. Last place is the Pittsburgh Pirates, 28-26. All 5 National League Central teams have winning records. So the teams is already in the picture in the National League as of right now. So here we go. Number 1 is the Atlanta Braves with a 36-18 record. Number 2 is the Los Angeles Dodgers, 34-20. Number 3 is the Milwaukee Brewers, 31-20. Those are the division leaders. The wild card leaders right now. Interesting here. First wild card is the San Diego Padres with a 31-22 record. Second wild card is the St. Louis Cardinals, 29-23. And a third wildcard spot is the Arizona Diamondbacks, 29-24. Those are the wildcard leaders in the National League. So outside chance, outside, how about this? Washington, Philadelphia, Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Those are several teams, several National League teams are in. And Miami Marlins is also in that mix on the outside looking in. This is not a surprise. The National League Central has been the biggest story in baseball so far, the best division in baseball. It hasn't been great over the years, but the National League Central has been one of the biggest stories in baseball. Coming into the season, the National League Central expect to be competitive, and it has. It has been competitive. So we just been talking about all this. We talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers, the pitching's been great. You got Jacob Mizorowski. The starting rotation has been really good. Kyle Harrison, they're both going to be all-stars, by the way. Kyle Harrison and Jacob Mizorowski will both be all-stars and likely be potential Cy Young conversations. That's how good this Brewers team is. And Pat Murphy, two-time National League manager, he's done a great job. I mean, there's no getting around it here. And then St. Louis Cardinals, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the St. Louis Cardinals. Jordan Walker has been the best story in baseball. He's looking for an all-star for the first time in his career. Jordan Walker has been impressive. Jordan Walker's hitting more home runs and RBIs. That's not a surprise. Batting average is improving. Hopefully he'll be MVP someday. The bullpen's been pretty good, the most part. Starting rotation, they'll make some moves. They can be better. I think starting rotation is going to be critical for the Cardinals. Losing Sonny Gray is significant, but this team is better when they lose Sonny Gray and Nolan Arenado. Those are the big losses, but big win for the Cardinals. The young core, the young guys have stepped up. Jay Witherholt has stepped up to the plate consistently, game in and game out. Oliver Marmol has done a good job. Just put this younger team together. Some veterans, but it's been critical here. For the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds, they're right there as well. They made the playoffs last year. There's no playoff hangover for the Reds, but I tell you what, Terry Francona, he's a future Hall of Famer. The manager, Terry Francona, he's a future Hall of Famer. The young cores have done some things like Ella De La Cruz. You had Sal Stewart. These guys have stepped up to the plate consistently. We'll see how the Reds can respond for the rest of this year. We offer the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're 28-26. They won 2 in a row. They beat the Blue Jays to wrap up the 3-game series. They ended up losing 2 out of 3 to Toronto. And then won a series opener against the struggling Cubs in this 4-game set. So this is a tight race. Oh, by the way, what did I miss? We'll get to that in a second. Don Kelly's done a great job with this Pirates team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. The pitching's been great. Starting pitching's been good. Offense has been better. The bullpen's been up and down. Defense has been up and down. But I'm not buying Pittsburgh in the playoffs yet. They got one more year to develop consistently, so they can do everything they want. We offer the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs, despite the fact they're 29-25, they have lost 9 games in a row, man. They have lost 9 straight games. Since the Pete Armstrong incident, they lost in Chicago, in Wright Field in Chicago, Illinois, when the White Sox played that stadium. They lost 9 consecutive games. So here they go. The losing streak began on May 16th. The Cubs have not won the game since May 15th. The losing streak began from May 16th to present right now. The Cubs play the Pirates tonight in Game 2 of this 4-game set. They're looking to snap a 9-game losing streak. The reason why they lost 9 in a row the Cubs have scored just 25 runs over the last 9 games. And they average 2.7 runs a game, which is the second lowest in all of baseball during this stretch. During this 9-game losing streak, they average just 2 runs a game. And a team ERA during this 9-game series, over 7.5. Bullpen ERA over 8.5. Starters ERA over 4.5. So, not a good sign for the Chicago Cubs. And a team batting average, runners in scoring position, under 210 runners in scoring position. Team batting average, under 215 in team batting average. The offense has struggled. They've been shut. How many times the Cubs have been shut out during this 9-game losing streak? Let me check it out. Let me check this thing out. How many shutouts during this 9-game losing streak? They got shut out by the Brewers. They got shut out by the Astros. 2 shutout losses during this 9-game losing streak. Games when they scored 3 runs or less during this 9-game losing streak. When they scored 2 runs or less. Actually, 3. When they scored 3 runs or less during this 9-game losing streak. 1, 2, 7 of the 9 games, the Cubs have scored 3 or fewer runs during this 9-game losing streak. That's not good. That's not good. You know what the problem is? The Cubs are the Cubs are the most streaky teams in baseball. You know what's ironic though? The Cubs had 2 10-game winning streaks in the same season. And I don't know if it's true whether or not no team in baseball history has missed the playoffs with multiple 10-game winning streak. I don't think. Okay, here we go. There are only 2 teams in Major League history to have recorded multiple 10-plus game winning streaks. Here are the 2 teams. 1969 Houston Astros and the 1978 Pittsburgh Pirates. And what happened in 1969 for the Astros? 500, 81 and 81, missed the playoffs. Pittsburgh Pirates, 1978, they went 88 and 74. Unfortunately, did not make the playoffs. If the Cubs do miss the playoffs, Cubs could become the 3rd team. Cubs would become the 3rd team in MLB history to have a multiple 10-game winning streaks, and they finish either 500 or better, end up missing the playoffs. If the Cubs do not pull off a postseason bound, they will become the 3rd team in baseball history, along with Houston, 69 Astros, and 78 Pirates, and then 26 Cubs. They could become the 3rd team in history to have a multiple 10-game winning streaks and did not make the postseason. We've seen the Cubs get on hot streaks and get on cold stretches. We've seen all this. And the reason why the Cubs are on a night injuries. The reason why they're up and down, there's so many injuries in the pitching staff. Either it's the rotation, starting rotation, or bullpen. It has not helped. They got to make some moves. They got to make some damn moves. They got to do it. I'm sorry. I know y'all going through it. This is a problem right now for the Chicago Cubs fans. They can really do something new right now. All right, so right now, as far as the American League playoff picture is concerned, number 1 seed is the Tampa Bay Rays with a 34-17 record. Number 2 seed is the Cleveland Guardians. They're still pretty good about themselves with a 34-24 record. Number 3 is the Athletics from West Sacramento. They're 500 at 27 wins and 27 losses. They're still in the mix for the division. Here are the wild card leaders, the rare one. Yankees has a sizable first wild card lead with a 32-22 record. Second wild card is Chicago White Sox, surprising White Sox, 27-26. This team has performing really well. And the final wild card spot is more interesting. Is the Minnesota Twins, 26-28. They have performed well as well. So this team has performed at a high level this past several weeks. One catch. Last night, the Astros threw a combined no-hitter in a 9-0 victory over the Rangers. The guy who started for the combined no-hitter last night, it was Tatsuya Imai got the start. He battled 6 innings. He did not record any hits or earned runs. He walked 4, struck out 2. And then Steven Okert and Alimber Santa have combined 3 innings. Okert had 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, no hits. Santa went 2 innings, 1 strikeout. That was the end of the game. He struck out. Okay, so the final batter of the game, with bases empty with 2 outs, with the combined no-hitter on the line. Brandon Newell was batting, and Brandon Newell called out on strikes. Newell challenged, but the ABS challenge was upheld. So it was the first no-hitter, either no-hitter or combined no-hitter since September 2024. The Cubs threw the combined no-hitter in 2024. That was the last time we had a no-hitter. So that's that. So we've seen a lot of things going back at it here. We saw a bunch of those. All right, so when we come back, we'll talk Jaylen Brown. Did Jaylen Brown get snubbed, the first team All-NBA? We'll step away right after this. All right, welcome back here. Let's take a look who are the first team All-NBA in 2025-26 season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, Victor Wembanyama of the San Antonio Spurs, Luka Doncic of the Los Angeles Lakers, and Cade Cunningham of the Detroit Pistons. That's the first team All-NBA. Let's take a look who is the second team All-NBA. Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics, Kawhi Leonard, the Los Angeles Clippers, Donovan Mitchell, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kevin Durant, the Houston Rockets, Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks. So let's take a look. The third team All-NBA. Jalen Duren of the Detroit Pistons, Chet Holmgren of the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jalen Johnson from Atlanta Hawks, Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers, and Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. So here's my question. Did Jaylen Brown get snubbed from the first team All-NBA? Oh, you bet he did. But who was the biggest steal of the first team All-NBA? It's got to be Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was the biggest steal to win the first team All-NBA, along with Doncic, Jokic, Wembanyama, and SGA. Jaylen Brown got snubbed because it feels like he's clearly frustrated. He wants to be the first team All-NBA. And he didn't get it. But he got the second team All-NBA because the rest of his numbers has not been, I won't say great or terrible, but the numbers have been really good as far as points per game, field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage. But the reason why he became the second team All-NBA, he struggled a little bit in the playoffs. That was the reason why Jaylen Brown became the second team All-NBA. If it wasn't for his struggles, he would have been the first team All-NBA. That's why Jaylen Brown got snubbed from the first team All-NBA. And it's just because of that. The other one, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards was snubbed in the first team All-NBA. If he did miss all of his games, he would have been number one team All-NBA. But Anthony Edwards did not qualify for the NBA awards because of his injuries. So there you go. And that's a former now. LeBron James. He's a future Hall of Famer. So LeBron James has snapped his 21-year All-NBA streak due to a disqualified of the 65-game eligibility requirement. So LeBron only plays 60 total games. He's just 5 games shy from doing that. If he didn't miss any of these 5 games, if he didn't miss any of these games, he would have met his requirements, but he did not. He only played 60 total games. That's disappointment. But yes, he is a future Hall of Famer. There's no getting around it. But I'm not sure about that because LeBron James is the key factor right now. And because of that, you don't want to get anybody stuffed it. But I like LeBron James's stuff. He's a future Hall of Famer. I mean, he's done it all in this one. So if that's the case, then it's more than a different story right now. And you can be truthful for that, if that's going to be the case. And I'm saying that if the Lakers can make sure that you can put yourself in a good spot, then there's nothing else you can really worry about that right now. All right, let's close it out here on JDB's Morning Cap. Before we get to that, this is an opportunity right now. What did I say earlier today? I talked about the Knicks moving on to the NBA Finals. They swept the Cavaliers. Jalen Brunson wins the Eastern Conference Finals Most Valuable Player. I said that today. The other topic I mentioned about today, the Cavaliers just got embarrassed. Cavaliers clearly got embarrassed in this series. It's been downright disappointment. James Harden struggle with these turnovers and all that stuff. I've been talking about that earlier today as well. That's something that really, and lazy defense for the Cavs. The Cavs defense is absolutely lazy. Since they blew a 22-point game one lead for the Cavs, they just never recovered at all. Meanwhile, Spurs and Thunder, I picked the Spurs winning game 5. Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle will come up big tonight in Oklahoma City to reclaim the series lead 3-2 for San Antonio. That's going to be that in this situation right now. And then I also talk about it today, that not just the National League Central, the rest of the conference as well. You talk about the Brewers are rising up, the Cubs are falling down. They lost 9 games in a row. Injuries has been an issue for the Cubs, despite they have 2 multiple 10-game winning streaks this season. They're on the verge of missing the playoffs, even though May's not complete yet. So June is approaching, so we'll have to get all that in this situation. We talk about Astros do a combined no-hitter in a 9-0 victory over the Texas Rangers. So we've been talking about all this in this situation right now. Now we'll talk about Jaylen Brown getting snubbed of the first team All-NBA. LeBron James snapped a 21-season All-NBA streak because he only played 60 games. He was just 5 games short from doing this. He would have 22 straight seasons with All-NBA. So, LeBron James, the greatest player of all time, is not making the All-NBA. Disappointing for LeBron James because it's really rough because of all of this. So it's going to be the case right now. We've been discussing all day long about this one here. So now, all right, now let's close it out. What's coming up in tomorrow's episode? We'll recap Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the Spurs. I'll talk some NFL. Who will be the biggest dark horses, both AFC and NFC, to get into the playoffs for this season. And then who will lead in Major League Baseball at home runs. I will talk about that tomorrow as well as it develops. So there's a lot going on right now. All right, man. This is JDB's Morning Cap. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and have a good rest of your day.